Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, Sell Rules, week number 53, ending April 12, 2019. This is really week 52, but in the beginning I counted the day I started, I counted as week 1, and it really should have been week 0, and so I'm off. But I'm going to refer to this as week 53 just to be consistent. I'm sharing my stock journey as I practice and develop my sell rules. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I've bought, nor an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm just allowing you to follow me along on my journey. My basic premise is that I started a year ago on April 13, 2018 with $100,000 to invest. My goal was to double my money in 1 year and focus on practicing and developing my sell rules. I started off with free trades, so I'm not taking into account transaction costs, and I'm trading in my IRA, so I don't have any tax implications buying and selling right now. I use stop limit orders at what I call the floor, and at the very beginning when I first purchase a stock, I put the floor 8%, and then as time goes on, I can move that floor up to the 50-day simple moving average, the 28-day exponential moving average. I can move the floor up, but I don't move the floor down. Sometimes I leave it where it was the week before. And I want my stocks to be consistently gaining a minimum of 0.5% or more per week. According to the investors.com IBD website, the market is in a confirmed uptrend. And this is a 1-year chart for the S&P. And those 3 blue lines are areas of resistance that I wanted to see the S&P clear. And it's very close to the top one of 2912. It did close 5 points below that. So to me, the market is looking really good, and I am 100% invested in my stocks. The VIX, or volatility index, the lower the better on this one, and I like it to be below 16, and it is well below that 16 mark. I purchased one stock this week, Ollie's Bargain Outlet. This is a current holding bar chart for the stocks that I've held for either 1 or 2 weeks. And I numbered these in the order of weakest to strongest. My thought is that I want to take care of my weakest stocks and focus on those because I think my stocks that are performing well, I don't need to spend as much time on. SurveyMonkey, I've held this stock for 2 weeks and it's down 6.3%. The green line with the orange box tells you where I purchased the stock, and the solid yellow line is the floor. That's 8% below the purchase price. TWLO, I've held it for 2 weeks and it's down 1.1%, and I left the floor at the 8%. I did not move it up. Boot Barn, I've held this stock for 2 weeks and it's basically flat. I did raise the floor up to that dash yellow line, which is the 28-day exponential moving average, the light blue diagonal line. Down in the volume section, look at this volume. Last week it had a super high large volume day at number 1, and then this week it had an even larger volume day. I hope that means the stock's going to go up soon. ACN, I've held this stock just about 2 weeks and it's up 1.6%, and I did raise the floor up to the 28-day exponential moving average. Ollie's Bargain Outlet, I bought this stock as an early buy. It wasn't a consolidation, which means that it was going sideways, so it wasn't quite to its pivot point, but it did have 9 of 11 days up at the time that I purchased it, and many of those were up in volume. Down at number 1, you can see that this stock has 13 of its last 15 days up, and several of them in volume. I've held this for 1 week and it's up 1%. ATR, I've held this stock for just about 2 weeks and it's up 2.7%, and I did raise the floor up to the 28-day exponential moving average. Down at number 1, look at all those up days. There were so many up days I didn't even count them. NEO, I've held this stock just about 2 weeks and it's up 5.9%. Awesome. And I did raise the floor up to the 28-day exponential moving average. This is the current holding bar chart for the stocks I've held for more than 2 weeks. Each bar represents 1 week. And I numbered these also in the order of what I consider the weakest to the strongest. CyberArk, I've held this for 4.5 weeks and it's up 8.9%. I did leave the floor at the 28-day exponential moving average from last week because I didn't want to choke this stock out. It did have a day where it came down to just to the price where I had purchased the stock, and then it bounced back up. So the software stocks have been having a little bit of problems in the last week or so. So I just wanted to give this some room to move. It has been a good performer so far, so hopefully it continues. Bold, I've held this stock for 4 weeks and it's up 6%. I was considering as a general rule to move my floor up from 8% max to a 7.5 and see what would happen. But this stock would have triggered a sell. It was 2 cents away from that 8% floor where that number 1 is, and now it's up 6%. So I'm glad that I didn't sell this stock when it would have triggered the floor if it was at 7.5. So I'm going to go ahead and keep my sell rule at that max 8% floor. ADP, I've held this for just about 9 weeks and the stock is up 10%. And I did raise my floor up to the 28-day exponential moving average. Keys, I've held this stock for 4.5 weeks and it's up 7.6%. Down at number 1, it doesn't have very high volume, no spikes, but it does have 13 of the last 15 days are up days. This is the dollar value gain for each of my stocks, and I sort it with the losers on the top. So I have 2 stocks that are down, SurveyMonkey and TWLO. And then this is the percentage change per week. So again, SurveyMonkey is up there with the losers on the top. It's had 2 big down weeks, and if it has another down week like that, it will automatically sell because it will hit its floor. And Boot Barn was up last week and then down this week. I like my stocks to be gaining a minimum of 0.5% per week on average, and these stocks, every one except the top one, is in fine condition. My industry breakdown shows that I added 1 retail stock this week. Last week I just had Boot Barn in retail, and now I have Boot Barn and Ollie's Bargain Basement. My weekly tracker for my current holdings, I highlighted the sections in green that I'm happy with. From last week to this week, my average gain is up $250. My largest gain is up $200, and my total gain is up $2,000, while my total loss stayed the same. So I'm moving in the right direction. And I'm really happy that I didn't have any sells this week nor last week. My benchmark shows that at the end of my year-long experiment, I'm up 22%. I did not make my double my money, but I'm happy with a 22% gain versus the 9.5% gain for the S&P 500 for the same time period. This is my benchmark for the entire year. I did want to acknowledge that I had been up as much as 60% and closed the year at 22%. You can interpret the results however you want. You can say, it was a success or a failure. I think it was a success because I feel really comfortable with my sell rules now, and I'm looking forward to continuing this journey and practicing my buying and practicing my selling that I've set up. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.